Mr. Sear. You were next.
I got it.
Oh, and another one. We should all have one.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners Ways and Means Committee meeting of December 7th, 2021, and it is 3:49 PM. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brown,
Here.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Here,
Commissioner Hughes,
here in Muskegon Township remotely due to medical conditions.
Commissioner Laring,
Here.
Commissioner Nash,
Here.
Commissioner Pego,
here,
Chairman Skolnick,
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins. Absent,
Excuse me.
and Commissioner Sear.
Here. I'd like to have approval of the minutes for 2021.
So move.
Support. No motion and support. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I,
No. Okay, next item, public agenda, or public comment on an agenda item. Is there any public comment on an agenda item?
I don't see any.
Seeing online. Okay, there being none. Next item is items for consideration, WM 21/12-128. Move to approve payment of the accounts payable of $11,491,025.94, covering the period from November 5th, 2021 through November 24th, 2021 for checks and P cards and EFT payments for the period covering October 1st, 2021 through October 31st, 2021, as presented by the county clerk.
so moved.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any questions, comments, or concerns on this item? Hearing none, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pego.
No,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
yes,
Commissioner Sear.
Yes. That item passes. Next item is WM 21/12-129. Move to approve exercising the 2-year optional contract with Lewis and Ellis Incorporated to perform OPEB actuarial services for fiscal year 2021 and fiscal year 2022 for $18,000.
so moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Questions, comments, or concerns on this item? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pego.
yes,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Sear.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes. The next item is WM 21/12-130. A move to approve exercising the first 1-year optional contract extension with Universal Credit Services Incorporated to perform debt collection for fiscal year 2022 for the original negotiated price.
so moved.
second,
A motion and a second. Comments or concerns on this item? Yes, Chair Twilliger.
I'm just kind of wondering, like, do we collect anything?
Mhm.
Not much.
Would you like to address that? We do.
That's small.
Hello, Angela Gashesky, Finance Director. Yes, we sent out a communication. It's a small amount. So far, we've been with this program for about 6 months. We have sent about just over $250,000 of invoices in, and so far we've collected about $7,400.
250,000 and you've collected 7,400.
7,400, yeah.
Okay, and then just want to, and I know that most of this is uncollectible, but do you have any idea how much is in our receivables for people that owe for being in jail?
I don't. I need to look into that a little further. I know that so far The jail team has only submitted about 9 invoices for collection, so.
I thought that the prisoner inmates were charged per day. Is that true?
I don't know. I would have to find that out.
Is the sheriff still here?
Their restitution.
No. Okay, I'm just curious, because maybe it's not collected, probably most of it collectible, but I mean, some of it, I mean, if I had receivables of 250,000, I collected 7,400, I'd be
Looking for a new company.
worried.
No,
But
and
maybe
these
it's not
are,
collectible, I don't know what it's for, so.
yeah, most of this is from clientele that generally doesn't have the funds. They're gonna be public defender, and jail type of clientele. So there's not always a lot to collect there. And the last 6 months have really been bad economically. So, these people are just receiving calls and letters in the mail. And in my opinion, the 7,400 has really just been people who happen to have extra money that they've sent it in.
Vice Chair Nash.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, how much was this contract? How much are we paying this group to do these collections?
They are paid from what they collect, so they have a vested interest in it. It's about 16%. So for example, of the 7,400 that we collected, I believe the number was about 1,600 that we paid out in fees.
Okay, so I guess I'm wondering what are we collecting? We don't have any debt, business debts and things of that other sort that may be more payable by another entity. Because I'm kind of, like you said, if we're going after people that's been in jail, they're not working. Some of them ain't working, some of them won't be working, and most of them can barely afford to feed themselves, let alone trying to pay a bill.
Right. The biggest customer for this service right now is Public Defender's Office. So that's for fees for people that they have defended, which again is really the same type of situation.
Right.
Commissioner Payne.
I have a question if I could, please.
Go ahead, Commissioner Hughes.
Angie, these people don't get paid unless they collect, correct?
That's correct. Yes,
Okay, so they got to hustle or they don't get paid at all.
correct. They get a percentage of what the collection is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I
Commissioner
was just
Pagel?
gonna reiterate that. So we're getting revenue in from bills that are due that we haven't received before because we are attempting to collect it that we haven't done before. So something's better than nothing and we're only paying on them what they collect. So just for a better understanding of that. Thank
Right.
you.
This would typically be something we would just write off.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, let's see, do we need a roll call on this one? I don't think so. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay, that item passes. Next item, WM 21/12-131, to move to approve the use of the American Rescue Plan grant funds for the listed items and adjust the budget accordingly.
Move to separate.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on this item?
Yeah, I'd like those motions separated if we could. That was 3 items under yours. Yes. Yeah, I'd like those voted on separately.
Okay. Do we need a motion?
Do a roll call.
Well, is there any questions, please?
Wait, what page is the?
11.
Yeah, I'm fine with separating.
Yeah, we have to vote.
We debated that internally, actually.
Any questions? Okay, let's vote on the motion
To separate them.
to separate.
Vote on them
Yes.
individually.
Let's do that first.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
No,
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
No.
Commissioner Pego,
Yes,
Chairman Skolnick,
No.
Commissioner Seer.
Yes.
5 yes, 3 no.
Passes, so we will move on to, let's see here.
Page 11, yeah.
On page 11,
Number 1 first.
item number 1. Yeah. Any questions, concerns on that item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, roll call vote? All right.
I do have a question.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Angie, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it again anyway. I asked this in the committee meeting and then at full board. The extra expenses for this, has anyone from the courts collaborated with you yet to figure out where that income is gonna come from to pay, or how we're not gonna generate income from the courts, so how is the extra balance of expenditures going to be paid?
For the court recording equipment?
Correct.
American Rescue.
Oh, I'm sorry, this was the wrong motion. I withdraw what I was saying, my bad. That was something else.
Yes, go ahead, Doctor.
Okay, so the total amount is coming from the rescue plan, correct?
Correct.
And so the amount we had previously approved was coming out of the county budget, correct?
Correct.
So we'll be saving that and just expending this, correct?
We'll reimburse, excuse me, we will reimburse the amount that we spent already plus the total.
Oh, we did spend it. Okay, so we'll just replace the same. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pego,
No,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no.
Okay, that item passes. The next item is the civic clerk meeting management software. Any questions?
motion to approve.
second,
Okay, motion and support. Questions, comments, or concerns on this item?
Just one question.
Yes, go ahead.
This is mainly for the courts, correct?
This is mainly for us. One to packets together and where all the directors can tie into it. It's just always much better and it helps with any mistakes that may occur. So
Makes it more efficient.
Okay,
it works well for everybody.
I guess the name threw me
Yeah.
out.
Commissioner Waring, please.
So I thought this motion was the one that the county clerk brought in for this ID check pass.
No,
No.
no, this isn't that.
Did we discuss this? in
Yeah.
this? I don't recall this conversation.
Okay.
It was quite a while ago.
Kristen talked about it.
Commissioner Hovey, please.
Yeah, where does the savings come from? Of 32,000?
Well, we were budgeting
General
at 32 out of our account the first year, but now we get to reimburse ourselves
Oh,
the total
okay,
amount.
sorry. Thanks.
It's my understanding this will increase efficiencies quite a bit, and
Yeah.
lessen the problems and slow process that this current process is. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pego,
no,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
I know I missed opportunity for questions, so I'll say no.
Commissioner Seer.
Yes.
6 yes, 2 no.
Okay, that item passes. The next item is the jail dishwasher, in the amount of approximately $45,000.
So
so
moved.
moved. Support.
I have a motion in support. Questions, concerns, comments on this item?
I do have a comment if I could, please.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Hughes.
I'd just like to say that I looked into this and I saw the horrible shape and the all the problems that that dishwasher causes, and definitely it does need to be replaced.
Any other questions?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead, Chair Skolnick.
I remember, I don't know, it was a long time ago, 15 years ago, it was during a campaign and it was kind of an ugly political campaign and somebody had said that Commissioner X had spent $45,000 on a dishwasher for the county. And it sounds, you know, to the average person, it sounds like how could that be? And I asked the same question to Mark, how could that be? Well, it turns out it's not like my dishwasher.
No, it takes up a whole wall.
I know. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Chair Skolnick.
Yes,
Pego, do you have a
so,
comment?
yes, I do. So, if we had not, because the jail is something that we're statutorily mandated to run, okay? And this is obviously a great need and a liability. So I want them to have it. However, my pattern, as you can see, is voting no on anything for American Rescue Plan dollars. Is this not something we can pay for out of another source of funding?
Well, yeah, it's a possibility, yes. We're just trying to maximize
Yeah.
the American Rescue Funds and use our dollars for other projects that might
Okay.
be need.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pego,
No,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Steer,
Yes,
7 yes, 1 no.
that item passes. The next item is item WM 21/12-132. Move to exercise the third and final year of the remonumentation and remonumentation maintenance services contract equally to Moore and Brugink, Dreisinger and Associates, and West Shore Consulting, and direct the county surveyor, to oversee the work pursuant to the terms and conditions of the grant for the 2021 calendar year, and further authorize staff to solicit bids for the remonumentation and remonumentation maintenance services for the next 3 years.
so move.
Support.
The motion is, questions, comments on this item? Yes, Vice Chair Nash.
I guess I'm wondering, has it always been a 3-part series? Or 2-part series? Why the partnership, why the change?
After Public Works, what was the question? Why are there 3 firms?
Is it 3?
Yes, it's 3 separate firms. Yes.
Okay, and do they all play a different part?
Well, they all do the same type of work. We just divide amongst them. We have to have 3 because we're required by to have a peer group that peer reviews other people's work.
Okay,
And that meeting's actually set for Thursday.
but they're all getting paid equally, right?
Yes,
So they're gonna peer review each other
yes,
equally?
yes.
Commissioner Hovey, right, please?
Yeah, could you describe what remonumentation actually is?
Sure. Love to.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Those of you who heard this, you can ignore. 300 years ago, or however long, when Michigan was discovered, it was by our European settlers using 60. So this person would walk that direction, hold the chain, then I'd catch up, and every so many chains, the idea was to get every square mile, they put a monument in the ground, right? So we just have to make sure those original monuments, okay, every square mile or close to square mile, are maintained and checked for accuracy based on what the original was. And we use records that we have available to us, so 1800s and up. Michigan is uplifting right now, so there's calculations, the vertical datum is, got to be checked. There's a lot going on. So it's required of us to do. We only do as many monuments as the grant will cover. So we'll get a pull here pretty quick, and if it's 50,000, we assign $50,000 worth of work, move on. So there's no general fund participation. But yeah, every square mile, every section corner is what we call it. We have to go through all of them. It takes,
So these
it'll
are all
take 20 or 30
surveys.
years to get through all of them.
How many?
Mr.
Sorry,
Secretary,
20 or 30 years to get through all of them.
Yes, Chair Swilling,
I,
please.
I just want to confirm, I was there when they did that.
I'm sure you were.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I know you're not a surveyor, Matt, but I don't quite understand surveying and a different to survey the same piece of property, but come to different boundaries of that.
Really?
And wondering if this is because the monumentation is off or what that particular.
Okay, typically what I've seen, I've never seen two surveyors read that description and come up with a different conclusion unless there was just an error. But what we're seeing a lot is we have this thing called sectional surveys. That just means we assume every section is a square mile and you own the southwest corner, 1/4 of it. So you assume automatically if it's truly a square mile, if those people with the chains 300 years ago got it right, that you own 300 feet. But what they start with, okay, so that's what a sectional survey is. You're just assuming it's just 1/4 of 1/4 of 1/4 or whatever that may be. But when you're doing a meets and bounds survey, which probably your construction jobs all have to have that before they start, they go out there and literally measure the section corners, the ones we're checking. And I don't know if there's any of them that are exactly 1 mile. It could be 20 feet off, which would throw the meets and bounds survey off. So that's where people think the surveyors are wrong. They're not wrong. It's just they got a more accurate measurement of that property description.
Well, I've had, not that it really matters to this issue, but I've had different, like West Shore and Holland Engineering come to two different conclusions on the same piece of property. Not currently, not something I'm dealing with
Sure.
right now, but I've seen it in the past. And it's surveying is kind of interesting, but I can't do it. So
Yeah. If you read the descriptions correctly, and this is why we have that peer group, because these 3 surveyors have done work in this community for decades. And they all have records, and we peer review those records. We got to get it accurate. I mean, if someone gets a survey done, they just found out their driveways in their neighbor's yard, we need to get this right.
Would you concur, Mr. Fair, that it's because the earth is not flat?
Save that for another meeting.
According to this, I'm in Skolnick's territory now, once they figure this out.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I am.
Anybody else?
And we just voted to appoint from the last meeting.
Yes, you did. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a roll call on this one.
Chairman Skolnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Laring,
yes,
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pego.
Yes,
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
8 yes.
Okay, that item passes. The next item is WM 21/12-133. Move to enter into a contract between Disability Network of West Michigan and the County of Muskegon to provide hosting services for data, application, and support services effective November 1st, 2021 for 1 year.
so moved.
Or
I have a motion and support. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this item?
I'd just like to make one comment, Mr. Chair, if I could.
Go ahead, Commissioner Hughes.
I think this is the only motion we've had that we get any money on. So I'd like to say thank you to the IT department. And I know that this is not the only place that they've worked with to support the community and support the county. And I just want to say thanks.
Okay, any other comments? Commissioner Laird?
yeah, actually, it's a follow-up. I'm not sure how we get money out of this. That was my question. It's non-budgeted.
Paying from what?
And how do we get money from this?
Mr. Phillips, could you unmute Mr. Phillips? Ivan, you want to answer?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I did. These funds are actually being captured by the county. We're actually charging Disability Network for our IT services and then capturing those revenues.
And Can I continue?
Go ahead.
And so we're adequately staffed right now without hiring additional staff to provide these services? And we're
That is correct. We, earlier, we lost a contract with the city of, no, not city of Muskegon, excuse me, Muskegon Heights. And this is a very similar contract with Disability Network. So it's, we certainly have the staff to support it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got-
Vice Chair Nash?
No, I just wanted to make a comment. I was glad to see this come forth because I remember when we first got this new IT network set up, this was really what it was supposed to be doing. And it should have been bringing us more revenue. So I'm glad to see this, Ivan, and I'm hoping that we can continue to, draw more interest for other community support, that people would join that network. 'Cause I think our biggest was probably United Way, maybe.
Intention, there was the state at one time.
Oh, okay.
several years
Because I know we had some significant impact right from the start, but things kind of slowed down and dissipated, but I'd love to see that kick back in.
Is this,
Go ahead.
this is a brand new contract?
I believe so. Is that correct?
Looks like
Ivan?
it
It's brand new
Yes, it
contract.
is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, Commissioner Vega?
I'm gonna bring up some points. So my question that I had is, this a county department that supports our county staff and our county services that we have to run county business. And I'm not in favor of outsourcing the people that we need when things that we need go awry. I think Ivan had explained that this isn't gonna deter anybody from doing that, but this just isn't, I'm just not in favor of outsourcing our own services. I understand it brings in a revenue, but this doesn't, it shouldn't fall under the purview of the county. So I'm gonna vote no.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Vice Chair Nash?
How many departments do outsourcing throughout the county?
There are several, you have HR, let's see, Donna equalization, wastewater used to do a little bit, water definitely, do quite a bit.
Just
There's
a
quite a few.
number of them. Yeah, I was just making a point that we have a lot of outsourcing going on because we always encourage our departments to build partnerships and learn how to raise revenue. And that's a continuous practice throughout the county.
Okay, that was something
I would understand. Yes. Commissioner, if this doesn't stress our system, I don't see an issue with it. If it was getting to a point where it was using up the equipment that we needed for other things or whatever, I could see where that might be an issue.
Well,
Go
my
ahead.
point is we're paying them to service the county taxpayers are paying for them. So if they're not needed for the county use, then why are they there? Maybe they shouldn't work there to begin with. Do you see what I'm saying? If they're just sitting around and have extra time that they can go work for someone outside of the county needs, then maybe we should not have them working at all, and we should be saving some taxpayer dollars.
I see what you're saying. I wouldn't say that there's any staff that are actually sitting around waiting for work. I think the way I view it and the other directors have viewed it, it offsets the department, therefore saves tax dollars by offsetting the costs.
Exactly.
Okay, well, if someone can explain that a better way, then, I want to understand, and I'd love to have more revenue come in, but I don't have a full understanding then.
For our equalization, not for equalization, for our GIS department, for example, all that revenue, the majority of that revenue comes from contracts with townships and cities. And therefore, providing that service to us much cheaper, where Thomas can print those maps off, for example. So
Okay,
that's one service that the department itself, the county doesn't necessarily use on a daily basis, but yet it's needed daily because of all the demand from other municipalities.
Mr. Chair. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna add, that, when you look at it, if the agency is able to grab a contract or two, it probably is enough revenue where we can add a staff or two. But that's something where I think sometimes we do lose that when we're not hiring appropriately to have enough staff to be able to continue to handle the work and maybe even continue to grow the revenue. But we have to get that balance in there and learn how to do both at the same time. And sometimes I think we just miss that because we're so busy trying to cut. And that's where we as commissioners have to be more knowledgeable to understand. We can cut all day and try to balance the budget, but if we're not paying our staff enough and we're not supporting them enough with enough staff, you know, sometimes we're the problem. We're not the answer. And sometimes we have to understand we may need to extend those salaries and supports and allow people to hire more because they need this sometimes for the turnover.
Commissioner Leary?
I have-
She had her hand.
Oh,
I
I'm
kind of
sorry.
a follow-up question to Commissioner Nash. So just to clarify, this income revenue, that goes to the general fund. It doesn't go to the staff that's actually, I mean, they're still getting their hourly rate or whatever their rate
That
is
was
from
my
the county.
point. That was my point.
Yeah, it depends on which department it is. For example, if it's enterprise department, it stays with that department.
Right,
That's
okay.
right.
So I think Commissioner Pago has a valid point. I've heard one of our other directors say that we're not in business with competing with private industry. And these IT services that the county is providing for municipalities, maybe, but I think this disability network, I don't know that they're a private organization, probably a
Nonprofit.
a nonprofit organization, but they're not a governmental institution. And I don't see why the county would be in the business of competing with IT services when they're IT contractors in the county that would probably love to have this contract. So it's a point I hadn't thought of. Thank you, Commissioner Pago, for your comments. And I won't be supporting this motion. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
I'll just make one more comment.
Okay,
This is not about trying to go into business. This is about helping the community and also helping the county. This is a community service agency that helps people in the community with disability. We can provide them a service with a entity, the Muskegon County IT department that they can trust in, that can give them that kind of support that they need and have a relationship with. And then it also brings us revenue. So it's kind of a one hand, you know, scratching hands. We're just supporting each other in different ways, and it's benefiting both entities. So I don't think it's about going into businesses, but you know, if you get nonprofits, different ones in the community that want to come through the county, it could be a great benefit. And then hopefully, like I said, we can take some of those revenues, you know, give better wages or hire new, employees, whatever we need to keep that support there.
Commissioner Pago, please.
So what is the severability of the contract?
Ivan?
30 days by written notice of either party.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes,
Commissioner Leering,
No,
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes,
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Steer,
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no.
And that item passes. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business coming to this board? Seeing none, any new business at this time? Any new business? Seeing none, public comments. Is there any public comment this time?
No, see you online.
Nothing online? Okay, any final board comment? I ask, Vice or Chair Skolnick, I'll let you.
Yeah, I just, I was debating whether or not to say anything on that last motion, but if I remember right, that, the county got into that fiber optic network in conjunction with the intermediate school districts. And we paid for the fiber optics. And I think it's pretty much all of our outlying buildings are hooked up to this too.
That is correct, yes.
And if I remember right, I think we saved hundreds of thousands of dollars on our phone service. I mean, it was a major amount of money by doing that. Well, by doing that, then it gave us the right to extend that to nonprofit organizations under that same contract. And that's why I just want to, because I was involved with the building of the United Way complex over there, the Disability Network, I think the Mediation and Dispute Resolution Center and United Way are all those same buildings. And they're all using that same network of, I don't know why the Disability Network wasn't, but now they are too. So everybody in those buildings is using that. And I understand Commissioner Waring and maybe Commissioner Pago's comments about competing with local contractors. But on the other hand, these are really grassroots nonprofit organizations and saving them significant money that they can put back into helping people. So for whatever that's worth.
Okay, any other comments? Vice Chair Nash?
I just wanted to welcome back our Commissioner Hughes. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
You're here.
Hey.
I'm glad to see you back and wish you a continued.
It's good to be seen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? All right, college adjourned.